I've always used a regular keyboard and mouse to edit my videos, except for that one time I got to use the speed editor from Blackmagic Design. Now with that, you still needed your regular keyboard nearby. So when Blackmagic Design sent me this, I got really excited, the editor's keyboard. Now with it being a full keyboard, ideally it should be able to replace your normal keyboard and also speed up your workflow. But does it really? Stay tuned to find out. Now to start, this thing is massive, at least in comparison to my regular keyboard. It has a metal body design and very sturdy. It uses mechanical keys that are very satisfying. If you're a gamer, you know what I'm talking about. The keyboard has two rubber feet on the back, but also have these two kickstands you can use to customize it to your liking. Me personally, I like it with the feet kicked up, having that rise in it. It seems to be more comfortable for my wrist placement. Speaking of wrist placement, the keyboard has this matte black kind of rubber texture that you can place your wrist. That I find to be comfortable as well. Unlike the speed editor, the keyboard connects to your computer via a USB Type-C cable. Now mine is on temporary loan and didn't come with an actual USB Type-C cable, but if you got a modern day iPhone or Android, most likely you have one laying around the house somewhere. What makes this keyboard stand apart is the side panels. To the left of the keyboard, you have customized keys that's geared towards cutting footage. To the right, you have your jog wheel. And also keyboard shortcuts that go from your source, which is basically your media pool, to your timeline. You have your normal keyboard keys in the middle. Outside of DaVinci Resolve, they function like normal, therefore you can still use this keyboard just everyday tasks. The keys are marked with the keyboard shortcuts from the default layout of DaVinci Resolve. If you've gone through and already customized and made up your own keyboard shortcuts, they won't override them. However, the top row with the function keys, they will override those shortcuts. I have a few keyboard shortcuts that I've mapped to F1, 2, and 3, and utilizing the editor's keyboard, it overrides those shortcuts. A little while ago, DaVinci Resolve 20 beta released, and this editor keyboard along with the beta are a perfect match. Let me show you why. One of the key features I use when the cut page, when I have a lot of footage, is called the source tape. So I go up here to these little icons, click on the middle one. Source tapes bring up all your footage in one timeline and separates the footage by these little white indicators. This feature was only on the cut page before DaVinci Resolve 20. So now if I go back to the edit page, I can go up here to the top now and click on source tape. And once again, it will show all my footage as one big video. So now using the editor's keyboard, I can scroll the jog wheel, select the in point, out point, then go up here and hit a pin and it will take it to my timeline. If I wanted to further adjust that footage within the timeline, I can just hit the timeline key here, scroll the jog wheel, and make other alterations. Once I'm done with the alterations I need, I can hit source, and then go back to my media pool, and then I continue to select footage. So if I go here, close to the end of this clip, and hit in, and then go past this white line, hit out, I can hit a pin, it'll still place it on my timeline behind my original clip, and it will still indicate that it's two different clips. So if I hit timeline, and I scroll the jog wheel back to the beginning of the timeline, hit source, and I want to say, for instance, add in some B-roll, I can scroll through this, hit in, out, and then hit place on top. So it'll place it on top of the previous clip. Clicking on timeline, going back now. Say, for instance, this footage here, I want to do a close-up on. I can hit close-up, and it will take that part of the footage from the playhead to the end, and it will zoom in from 1 to 2. It's indicated here within the transform. If I hit source and go back, select the in and out points with some footage. Where my playhead is on my timeline, I can hit smart insert, and then we'll insert that footage. Moving on prior footage to the end. Clicking back on the timeline. If I wanted to quickly scroll through this footage, I can switch to the scroll mode. But yeah, the jog wheel would then jump ahead several frames and allow you to quickly move through your footage. This third mode actually changes the actual functionality of the jog wheel. So if you rotate it, it's not going to be as loose as it normally is, and will actually click when it gets to a point and it stops. Now in this mode, if you turn the wheel but don't turn it all the way till it clicks again, it will just continue to speed up the playback of your footage. Which the speed in which is moving is indicated right here. So right now I'm at 4 times speed, which just increases all the way up to 64, which is when the wheel would then click at the very end. Going back to my timeline, you can place your playhead over 2 clips, click and hold trim in, and then it will trim your footage back and forward. Do the same thing with trim out. With your trim out is gonna go from the end of the footage of that particular clip. Readjusting my playhead over here, roll. It will then allow me to roll my clip over one another, basically overriding the clip. Holding the slip key and moving the jog wheel, your clip will remain in the same place in the same amount of time, but then you can scroll through the footage. As you can see up here, it's showing me where my footage will end at that particular point. I can hit this shortcut key for dissolve, and it'll place a dissolve transition. Then I can use the key transition duration and scroll the jog wheel to get precise movement of how long I want the transition to last. Going up here to the undo key, which is basically like Control Z, I'm gonna undo. Then I'm gonna go into the effects panel, go to my video transitions, and then I'm gonna select the random transition. I'm gonna double click this center wipe transition, see it added to my timeline, and then I can hit transition duration and still do the same thing. It's just on the keyboard itself, it has the dissolve transition already mapped to it. Again, if you never change any of the custom shortcuts that DaVinci comes with, the keyboard has legible text that shows you which keyboard shortcut is what. It's also pretty accommodating for if you're on Windows or Mac. You have the control key, the command key, alt, and option as well. The only key I found to be missing is backspace. So if you hit delete within DaVinci Resolve, within DaVinci Resolve, of course, you hit and select the clip, you hit delete, it just deletes the clip. It actually has a dedicated key at the top for ripple delete, which basically delete and fill in the space. But if you're just using it as your everyday keyboard, and say for instance, I select these clips here, and ordinarily I can hit delete and it will delete those files. But if I hit delete here, it's gonna function as a backspace and then just go back to the previous file. If there is the backspace key on the keyboard, I didn't see it. I also previously mentioned that I have keyboard shortcuts mapped to F1, 2, and 3. While using the editor's keyboard, those shortcuts are remapped. So in DaVinci Resolve, I can say if I get this clip here and I want to create a freeze frame, I can hit F3. It creates a freeze frame. Say right here, I want to insert black. It's basically going to insert a solid black color, which I then go into the media pool, the inspector tab if I want to, and I can change the color. If I need to resynchronize my bins, I can hit sync bins and it will resync in media. There's a picture-in-picture key here, but I can't get it to work. I hadn't really messed with it outside beyond this video. Much of the functionality within these function buttons, if you grab your media clip and then bring it over to your timeline viewer, is actually some of the same shortcuts right here, but you just have them mapped to actual keys. If you're at the end of your timeline, you want to quickly get back to the beginning, just hit the home key, it takes you to the beginning of your timeline. And then further on down, you have your 10 key number keys. I believe this keyboard will be a great add-on to anyone's studio or editing setup. However, there is a barrier to entry, which is the price. It's definitely a nice keyboard, and the few times I've used it, I really enjoyed it, especially just cutting through footage. Well built and very responsive to DaVinci Resolve, and like I said, it matched with DaVinci Resolve 20. It's a perfect blend for me, but also that means the cut page is going to be neglected even more now than ever before.
Why am I so neglected?
But like I said, with DaVinci Resolve 20, it kind of makes the cut page irrelevant to a certain extent because there's still features that you only can get on the cut page. However, that's going to do it for this video. If you want more information, check out the link in the description down below. I'll see you in the next video.